Alright, so we're going to be working on the 1000 words project today. First thing you need to do is go to Google, and you're going to search up an image. You want an image with a somewhat plain background, and lots of lights and darks. So when you search up your image, please remember we're using search tools and making sure our images are large. I'm going to find my image. This has pretty plain background. I'm going to take the image and I'm going to drag it to Photoshop. And it's going to pop up. Now, if your image is small, you have to start over. If you do not start over, you're going to have a small image and you're not going to get a good grade, and your image also won't come out correctly. Before we get started with this image, we're going to go to File, New. And we're not going to name this because it's actually garbage, because what we're going to do is we're going to create paintbrushes. I'm going to go ahead and go to US Paper, and then I'm going to click OK. I'm going to write 3 descriptive words. Remember, T is your text tool. And you want pretty simple fonts. Just nothing real bold and squished together because it doesn't really translate well as a paintbrush. I'm going to type motorcycle as one of his descriptive words. Another one we can use is fine, because he is. And how about deadly? Alright, I'm going to click the check mark. When I'm finished, I'm going to go to the second tool. This is also a new tool for you. It's called the rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to put a square around my word, and then I'm going to go to Edit, Define Brush Preset. You don't have to name your paintbrush. You're just going to click OK. That actually just made the word motorcycle a paintbrush. I'm going to put a square around fine, go to Edit, Define Brush Preset, click OK. Do it a third time. Edit, Define Brush Preset, and click OK. Now I want to exit out of this because we don't need to keep it. We already made our paintbrushes. So all I'm going to do is click this little tiny X right here and click Don't Save. And now I'm back to my image. Next thing we're going to do with this image is we want to make sure we're on the Move tool so we don't screw anything up. We're going to go to Select, Color Range. And the first thing we want to select is our shadows. So I'm going to click the word shadows, click OK, and you're going to see lots of dancing ants. Those ants mean that's what's selected. All our shadows are selected. Your new command that you're learning is to put the selection onto a new layer. I'm going to click Command J, and a new layer is going to pop up here. I'm going to name that layer Shadows. And then I'm going to click back on Background. I want to make sure it's highlighted. Go to Select, Color Range, and this time I'm going to select Midtones, and then I'm going to click OK. We're going to click Command J again to put the selection on a new layer, and I'm going to name that Midtones. Alright, now that we're finished with those 2 layers, I'm going to click on my background, and I'm actually going to turn my background layer off. To turn it off, I just click the little eyeball. For the most part, I have a pretty decent image here. So I'm going to go back up to Shadows. I'm going to go to Edit. And I'm going to go to Fill. I'm going to fill this with black. I want to make sure my image is black and it says Preserve Transparency. And then I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to click on my midtones, go to Edit again, Fill, and this time I want to fill it with 50% gray. It has nothing to do with these. It's 50% gray, Preserve Transparency is checked, and then I'm going to click OK. Alright, now that I have a working image, I'm going to go to Shadows, and I want to merge these 2 layers because we don't need them separate any longer. To merge your layers, you're going to hit Command E. It's a really important shortcut because later on when you're trying to get rid of certain things, it might help you later. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my eraser tool. I already have some words selected here. And with my eraser tool selected, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of some nonsense in the background. If there's anything back here, if there's too much gray back here or too much black, I could get rid of The Walking Dead, but that might come out pretty cool. So I'm going to leave it. Just get rid of anything back in the background that might look a little silly. Okay. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 blank layers. And to add a new layer, this is also the duplicate layer, but it's also the new layer. I'm going to click it 2 times. I'm going to go into layer 1, and I want to make sure these are black and white. I'm going to hit Command Delete. And although my image has disappeared, it really hasn't. It's just under this white layer. I'm going to turn that layer off. And I'm going to click on midtones, make sure it's highlighted. I'm going to hit Command A, and what Command A does is it completely selects that layer. So you see my dancing ants? That's what's selected. I'm going to hit Command C, and everybody watch up here at this edit screen. Command C is going to copy, and then I'm going to click back on layer 2. Alright, I'm clicking up here on layer 2, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this little camera looking object right here. And what this camera is going to do, it's going to add another box here. So everybody watch. Alright. So now I have a secret layer. I'm going to hold down my Option key and I'm going to click that box. And everything's going to disappear. I'm really just selecting the secret layer. I'm going to paste my image, and to paste you're going to hit Command V. And we want to get rid of these ants, so I'm going to hit Command D. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Command I, and that's going to switch my colors around. It's going to make my picture look crazy. Alright? So I'm going to do this whole step one more time just so you guys can get the hang of it. It does take a lot of work. So I'm going to click on my layers. I'm going to click on my midtone layer. I'm going to hit Command A to select my entire image. Everybody's going to watch Edit because I'm going to copy. Command C. I'm then going to click on layer 2 here. I want to add a secret layer to layer 2, and that is just click this little camera. It's going to add that secret layer. So I'm going to click it, hold down my Option key, and click the secret layer, and your screen's going to turn white. I want to paste my image, so I'm going to hit Command V, and then I want to get rid of my dancing ants, so I'm going to hit Command D. The next thing I want to do is I want to make my picture look crazy, so I'm going to hit Command I. Wonderful. The next thing you're going to do is actually click back on the box for layer 2 that selects your image. We're going to turn off midtones because we no longer need them. We have our secret image here. And what I like to do first before I start painting with the words is to hit Command Delete, because that almost gives you an idea of where your words are going to go. Anything that's white, you see all the white and the real light white, that's where the words will go. Anything that's transparent will stay blank. Now, how do you find your words? So I'm going to go to my paintbrush, and I'm going to click on my paintbrush here. Just like you guys did when you painted your photograph, your image, your painting. So all my words are here. I can pick any words that I want. But I am going to strongly suggest that you guys change your spacing, because it will look really silly. You can go and change your shape dynamics as well, and your size. I'm going to minimize this so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to start putting some words in here. So you can go a lot at a time or a little at a time. You want to be able to read some of your words. You don't have to read all of your words. It would be silly if I tried to read, the words over here, or maybe even near his eyes. Okay, you can see his face is starting to come up. I can go ahead and change my words, whatever you want to change it to. I can make them nice and small. Woo. And edit, step back. If you don't like what you're doing, hit Command Delete and you can start again. The biggest pet peeve everybody has is that they totally forget about spacing. So you'll get stuff that looks like that and it looks horrible. So change about your spacing. You can do lots of little words at a time. I like to use little words around here or really big words around his eyes. I like the little words because you can still kind of see what they say. Sometimes if you have a lot of checkerboard around it, you don't really get to see enough information, so you may actually have to do this over again. Don't be upset if you do. you'll have the time, and you can always look back on the videos. So I'm going to keep going here. I can go ahead and change my word. What am I going to change my word to? Let's do, we just did deadly. Let's do motorcycle. Whoa, that's way too big. We can get some oh, and I forgot my spacing again. You can go ahead and change your shape dynamics too if you really like. But once you kind of get in here and get going, you can really start to see some information. Now, in order to add color to this, I'm going to keep going. It's going to look kind of rough. You guys are going to do a much better job, but I just want you guys to be able to see how to add color. To add color, it's really simple. I'm going to add a layer on the very top. I'm going to turn all this on. I'm going to go to my layer 3. You can either add a gradient or a paint bucket, whichever one you want. The gradient, you can pick your 2 colors. I'm going to pick a red, and then I'm going to pick, I don't know, let's go with a blue. Why not? A lot of the kids who are into football will pick the football players' colors, and they'll do a football person, which is fine. With a gradient, you just put your line whichever way you want. Your image might disappear, which that's okay. All you're going to do is go to your layer style, and instead of multiply like we used before, we're going to hit screen. And that's how you have a colored image. You guys can keep going. Like I said, play with your words and such like that. But to save, remember, always save it as a Photoshop document first. Save as. And you're going to name it. Make sure you name it 1,000 words with your name. And make sure it's the Photoshop document. I don't even know where I have this saved. Alright. I'm going to save it there. And then you're going to go ahead and save it as a JPEG when you're completely finished. Great job today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask or send me an email. Thank you.